based on DNA.
Don't worry about
Part
that.
of what I do, but today I really just want to focus on food, timing, labels, myths, things like that. And those are, that's Marianne, I just recently worked with her. She's a chef. She's a personal chef in the area. So she never works out, but she's got her nutrition dialed in and she lost 40 pounds. Can't say she never works out, she's on her feet all day.
Yeah.
So, a couple of facts that I want to share with you. These are statistics from last year. 52% of Americans believe it's easier to do their taxes than it is to eat healthy. And 9 out of 10 people will self-report that their health is good or better. Yet 75% of our population is overweight, obese, or morbidly obese, according to those doctors' charts. So I asked the question on the second point, why would you just want to feel good when you can feel great? And it's not getting any better as we age. So we want to find out how to find that fountain of youth. Couple of things about food that I always want people to be aware of right now with marketing is that front of the package is really designed to trick you and get you to buy. And it's always at eye level. And then you can find the really healthy foods on the bottom, very bottom shelf, or the tippy top shelf. It is starting, the trend is starting to change. I've noticed in this area, our Publix, more of the healthy options are starting to be at waist level. I would say they're not at eye level yet, but you want to be aware of it. They put buzzwords on there like natural and reduced fat or low calorie. And you think that you're purchasing something that's a better alternative, but then what's inside that is making it a better alternative? So we truly need to be reading the ingredients, not the labels anymore. So it's a no-brainer on some of these. So I think that is a healthy option. Others may stick out as like, why would you think that's healthier? But all of those are designed to make you grab and go. And if you read the ingredients, chances are your body's not even digesting it.
It's interesting to see the fat obesity levels went way up when the low stuff came in.
Absolutely.
And the Snackwell stuff, it like skyrocketed.
Yep, diet sodas, all of that. And I talk to a lot of clients and say, well, my grandmother cooked chicken and lard. And we had mashed potatoes and big healthy dinners. I was like, yeah, but your food was real.
Yes.
It was grown out of a ground that had a lot of nutrients in the soil. And today I have a good friend that actually studied soil samples all over the world and came back, and the nutrition profile in every sample was completely different. And most of the story was it's depleted. We just overused it and we're not replenishing the soil. So marketing myths that I want you to be aware of is fresh does not mean that it's never been frozen. And that's okay, that's personal choice. All of our fish almost has been frozen before we eat it. Farm fresh means absolutely nothing. And if you're a farmer, no offense, but it doesn't mean anything. Light versus regular or fat-free oftentimes has just as many calories. Then to replace the fat, they'll add more sugar so it tastes good, or salt. So you want to be mindful of that, especially if you've got cholesterol issues. Organic does not automatically mean that it's healthy.
I saw some organic lollipops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And no sugar actually doesn't mean no sugar. You really need to read the ingredients and see what are they replacing that sugar with. And oftentimes it's an artificial sweetener. So just so you're aware, artificial sweeteners that are synthetic, like Equal, aspartame, Splenda, there's a lot of research coming out against that. It causes inflammation in the body. It causes bloating and gas. And I'm going to put my microbiome hat on because I was a biology instructor for 20 years. The gut bacteria can't digest it. And we don't have a way to measure calories of artificial sugars from the gut perspective. So there is some theories out there that we're still getting calories. They're just being digested down here. But either way, it's still causing a lot of inflammation issues. And if the body doesn't recognize something, its automatic defense is put it in the junk drawer. I don't want to deal with it. And the body's junk drawer is a fat cell. And fun fact, it's the only cell that has no limit on the size that it can grow. The
Yeah.
amount that you were born with is the amount of fat cells that you will have. So you see some people, they just seem like they don't gain. Like they were born without a lot of fat cells, but they can get fat. They do have some fat cells, but they just got less. But they often they're skinny fat. They've got a lot of going on the inside. So ingredients, this is my public service announcement on ingredients. You want to be reading the actual ingredients list, and they write the ingredients in order of concentration, how much is in there. So the first ingredient for this particular one on the left is cooked rice. That's good, we want that. But then there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but if you read through, you'll see things like cornstarch. Cornstarch causes inflammation in the body as well. And when the body's inflamed, that's the beginning of long-term disease and disorder. Weight gain, fatigue, all that kind of stuff. Gatorade, I like Gatorade. It has a place in professional sports. Long distance athletes need the sugar, they need the electrolytes. They don't need all the other artificial ingredients that are in there though. So I'm not a huge fan of kids on sports teams drinking it. There's other alternative drinks out there that are a lot healthier. This was purchased at the dollar store. I would not go to the dollar store for a bag of lettuce. Why would I go to the dollar store for a canister of protein? And this kind of protein is not something that your body is getting a whole lot of protein. That's undigestible protein that's in there. Soy is a cheap protein, causes inflammation and can cause weight gain, and too much soy can increase estrogen in male and female. So I'm very careful with soy because I'm a high risk for inflammation. I don't want to take it. So Premier Protein, sorry if anybody's in love with that brand. There's other qualities out there. So that's my PSA on watching the ingredient labels. So let's just talk about what is food, and then we'll get into my fun table over there. So food's energy, and that's how we need to reprogram our brains. I like the taste of food. I am a comfort food eater. I am a stress eater, for sure, and late night eater sometimes, but I've learned to manage that, and that's how I got the 60 pounds off. But what is food? It's broken down into 3 compartments: fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. And they all have their uses. We were designed to eat all 3. Our body is designed to run on all 3. Fats give you fullness. It's great for your joints, your hair, your skin, your nails. Proteins, that gives you strength. It also helps you feel full. It gives you that feeling of satiety. And carbs, they're energy. They're not evil. And I'm going to give you permission today to eat carbs, and lots of carbs. Okay, but what kinds you pick, that's what matters. So about 50% of your calories should come from carbohydrates. And not a lot of people do that. And you should have about 20 grams of protein in every meal that you're having. So we're feeding the body. And you're going to probably learn today that you are either under eating or eating at the wrong times. So what does the body do with food? Since it's energy, it either uses it, it eliminates it, or it stores it. And if the scale and the inches aren't going the way we want it to, then chances are it's storing. I do deal with a lot of people that have gut issues. So, Joe, you can't answer this because I'm very familiar with your eating patterns. So you don't have to call yourself out. You may have a spouse that you want to call out. So does anybody want to volunteer and tell me what a day in the life looked like yesterday?
Okay.
Yay. Can you grab my ruler? What time did you wake up?
Well, I woke up a little later for a work day. It was like 7:10, but yeah. And
This is AM.
okay.
Okay, so you woke up at 7:10. What did you eat?
I eat the same thing every morning.
Okay.
I eat 2 eggs in some olive oil. Like I try to stay below a tablespoon.
What time?
Oh, it was like right around 7:30.
Okay, so you ate at 7:30. Okay, and then when was the next time you ate?
Like at 12.
Okay, and then when did you eat again?
It was right around 5:30 because we had somewhere to go.
Okay, so far looking pretty good. Any snacks at night?
I did have an orange when we went to the symphony and we got home a little late and I was kind of hungry, so I had an orange. I think it was like 10. I normally don't eat stuff that way, but it happens.
But you ate an orange.
I ate an orange. That's
I probably would have had some taste.
Yeah.
Well, I was tempted. I was like, I wanted to.
I'll say the orange barely counts.
Yeah.
I agree with that. In the morning, And then 12:30, you said you ate. Did you have protein then?
Yeah, I had a can of tuna and some hummus.
And your 5:30, did that have protein?
It was, I had a veggie, not a soy veggie burger, but like a vegetable.
Something with protein in it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so not bad. A lot of the women and men I work with don't do that. And there's still some tweaks I would make to that. if I were working
Oh,
with
it's good
you.
to know. Yeah.
So let's just throw my boyfriend under the bus. His name is Dwight, and he's actually got his master's in exercise physiology, and he knows better. And now that he's met, he's like, we should do that. Yeah. So he legit has to work at 8 o'clock, so he wakes up at this time.
Oh,
11:40, he works from home.
yeah.
So it really is a roll with a computer. And then he makes himself a blueberry protein smoothie. And then he'll end up getting work meetings all day. And sometimes he won't get to eat until about 3 o'clock. And that'll be a scoop of whey protein. He's such a dude, puts it in water, sucks it down. He's not attached to flavor. But then work is done at 5. And he wants to go work out, so he has a snack before he works out. Then he works out and he has a snack again. And then he wants to make dinner, and dinner is usually about 8:30. And then I'm just gonna steal the wake up one, because then he'll get hungry for something at 10 o'clock. So if food is energy for the body, he's putting all his energy here when he works in security for banking. And he's got to focus really hard, so he's downing caffeine. Caffeine and caffeine and caffeine, run. And he's like, well, I'm just not that hungry. But then he is ravenous, and he'll eat whatever he can, double patty cheeseburgers, and then get the chocolate bar. Called sumo wrestler eating. This is how sumo wrestlers gain weight.
Really?
They don't eat during the day, they eat all their calories at night. Because the body's trying to shut down. So all that circulating of getting the nutrients to the body, it's not going to do that as much. And so it's just going to put it over into the fat cells. So you might want to be mindful of your timing. And we'll talk a little bit more about timing. So if it's fuel for the body, let's go back to how you were designed when you were first born. How many people are moms or dads? Okay. How often did that baby cry to get fed in the first 12 weeks?
All the time.
All the time. Like every 2-3 hours, right? All the time. And when they're not fed, what are they doing? Crying.
I'm
They're
same way.
crying. Me too. I'm
Angry.
yeah, I get angry. I have that phase. So if we are born and designed to eat every couple of hours, what happened? We didn't change our blueprint, but we changed our lifestyle. So we need to go back to that original design. So you want to eat every 2 to 3 hours. I'm a fan of the 3 hour, 3.5 hour mark. That way your insulin has time to process the food. It doesn't give you any insulin resistance. It's still getting the metabolism up. So you're like a furnace. You want to put a log on the furnace and get it burning every 3 hours. Whether you're in maintenance mode or you're in fat burning mode, you need to be eating. And you want to be mindful of long periods of not eating. So pack snacks with you so you don't go into storage mode. For example, I need to eat in about 20 minutes. I've got my almonds and my grapes. I would get fat, and I'm doing a double serving of carbs because I didn't get enough this morning. So let's see what you guys know about food, since food is fuel. I have 3 signs here: carb, protein, and fats. Can you guys sort your carbs into the carb pile, proteins into the protein pile, and then fats into the fat pile? Go ahead. Yeah, you guys are going to sort.
Just go up there.
Yeah, just go. All right, sort. Let's see.
Yeah, she already gave the answer for that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I gave you that answer. If you don't know what a food is, just ask. Oh, I like the plate food. There you go. This is a registered dietitian kit. Cool. That one is mayonnaise. If it's in between,
This looks tasty.
we put it in between. It's got carbs in. Yeah, if it's undecided, you can. That's turkey.
Oh, turkey.
So Joe, have you worked with these guys on nutrition before?
Mhm.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah. A little
Just
bit.
touch on the milk. Yes, ma'am.
Hard to say.
That's a tough one right there. And
That one is butter.
Oh, it's butter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, don't look, I don't like do something that someone already. Have y'all seen the meme where it says, if you make me cauliflower waffles, I'm calling the police?
That's ice cream.
Oh, ice cream.
I know it does look like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Salsa and mustard. We'll take that out of there.
Oh.
I can see that.
Broccoli. That's cake, so that's one of those, these two are definitely the carbs and fat.
Super, right.
Okay, so chocolate milk does have protein. This one is a condiment.
Oh, I can see that.
This one's a fat.
Oh, the cheese.
Cheese is a fat.
Oh.
Almonds a fat.
Oh.
This yogurt is.
Is it mostly fat or?
Yep. That's dairy, but
Oh, I got it.
very little.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's one of those combination foods that if you were to classify it on maps, it's classified as a fat. So pretty good. You guys did better than some other people. So-
Hey.
Yeah. Okay, now we have our food sorted. Will you make your breakfast? Will you make your lunch? And will you make your dinner or at somewhat substitute of what you can find here?
Okay, so like what we normally would make.
Yeah, what would you make from this?
cake. Cake for breakfast.
Cake. Hey, Bill Cosby made that to his kid.
You did.
It's got
That is great.
milk, eggs, flour. It's all good stuff.
Is this olive oil?
Would I really eat or would I?
Yeah. Just a typical everyday.
Oh, that's an orange, okay. Does someone need cheese too?
Yeah.
We'll split the cheese. I'll say that I have cheese as well. I'm gonna grab
What else? I think there's beets on the table.
Is this, oh, that's mayonnaise.
There's mayonnaise, there's margarine, there's butter, there's guacamole, there's salsa, there's mustard, there's French dressing.
Okay.
So you could say it's a different dressing if you don't like that kind. That's really there to just show portion sizes.
I put a little cream in my coffee every morning. Should I just do butter for like to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this lettuce?
Amazing.
Yes, that's right.
You got any low carb bread or low carb tortillas?
Right next to the cards, yeah.
It's low carb bread.
Yes, there you go. Love it, love it, love it. All right, and you guys would just, once you're done with your plate, just keep it with you at your seat. Those are pasta noodles, and then that's mashed potatoes. I do, it is right up there. It doesn't look like rice. It's not as fun and sweet. Okay, awesome. So we got breakfast, we've got lunch, and we've got dinner. So one of the tools that Joe and I use with clients, he's got a couple of options, I have a couple of options. But this is a nutritional guide that I use to help clients with their groceries, you know, what's a protein, what's a veggie, what's a complex carb, things that you should be limiting or avoiding, especially if you're trying to get your body fat mass down. And then these are the times that I want to see somebody putting fuel in. And so I have a copy of this for you guys at the edge of the table if you're interested. You know, thank you for attending. You've got a free nutritional guide. There's a second page in there that's a coaching page I use. That's a tracker, which you're going to get in your email. But you can have that nice printed one so you don't have to print. But this is a coaching guide that I use. The other thing that I use with people, there's an aversion to weighing foods. I'm a huge fan of it until you get portion sizes down pat. But what you have in front of you with your proteins and your carbs and your fats, those are the shapes of the hand. So a non-meat portion can be as thick as the fist and as round as the fist. Your meats should be in the palm of the hand, with the exception of the fish, because that got cut long. But if I were to cut it up, it would look. Any of your legumes or whole grains or breads, just from here to here and about that wide. So you can see from the pasta here, not that much. And most people, when they eat pasta at Olive Garden, would this be the serving size you get from Olive Garden?
They got the never-ending pasta, right?
Yeah. And the bread
Yeah.
that you get. So let's talk about Olive Garden. If we go there, I'm like, oh, we're gonna have a cheat. Breadsticks come. How many are you gonna have?
15.
And then the salad with the dressing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the calorie count on that dressing in the grocery store?
Oh,
It's like 270 calories.
Oh, my goodness.
It is
Per tablespoon?
2 tablespoons.
Oh,
It's
wow.
crazy. It's crazy high, which is why we love it.
Yeah.
And then we get our dish, and then if we're going out to eat, we're gonna have desserts. That is your entire calories that you were trying to conserve all week in one sitting. You want to be about 3,000 calories under per week, what your maintenance is, so that your body is actually losing fat. But there's a sweet spot. If you go too far below, you're gonna store. You're gonna store. So you have a plate in front of you. How did you do? This would be breakfast. So you've got 2 servings of carb and 1 serving of a protein and 1 fat. How'd you do?
I am lacking on the carbs.
Yeah. So remember, energy's fuel.
Yeah.
So carbs we want to put into the beginning of the day. Snack, 2 carbs of protein, optional fat. Okay, so for me, I'm doing the almonds and the grapes, or I would do a protein shake with half a cup of mixed berries in there. Depending on what I'm going to eat for the rest of the day, I may put some almond butter or peanut butter. Lunch, 2 carbs of protein and a fat. How do you do? Got the bread, that's a carb. We've got the lettuce, that's a carb. We've got a protein, and we've got 2 fats: the guacamole and the
cheese.
cheese. Yeah. Snack, again, in the afternoon, we want to fuel the body. 2 carbs, protein, fat. Now, when I say 2 carbs, I'm not looking for complex carbs. So for your particular sandwich, that's great, and you want to have lettuce or an apple with it, so that would be good. And then dinner, 2 carbs and a protein. For those 2 carbs, if we're in weight loss mode, I want it to be like vegetables, green leafy vegetables, something that's colorful, something that's high fiber to keep you full for the evening. Optional fat, depending on how your fats are doing. And then if you're athletic in the evening, you may find that you're also hungry. So you can choose based on where you're at. So at the end of the day, let's say you're 1425 is your calories. You want to have 5 choices of protein. So all 5 sittings should have protein. 3 choices of fat throughout the day, and then 10 choices of healthy carbs. And most women balk when they say 10 choices of healthy carbs. Do you eat that much a day? Definitely not. Most of the women I work with and men are under eating. I've got a guy who's 320 pounds right now in Philadelphia, and he is drastically under eating. And he thinks that's going to help him lose weight. He's not. He's gaining because everything he's eating is going into storage. Even if you're great and you've got a beautiful dinner plate there, I think it's great. I love it. We don't have a perfect day eating, and that's where supplementation comes in. That's the other part of what I do is I personalize nutrition based on DNA. So that yellow and purple box right there, those are my supplements for the day. So they're conveniently packed. I know yours is coming. I'm so excited. But I took a HIPAA protected assessment. I know what my nutritional gaps are because it asks about lifestyle, medical history, diseases and disorders, any prescription medicine. I'm on blocks recommendations I should not be having, and then suggest it. And then, like I worked with you yesterday, we personalized what she wanted, made sure we weren't duplicating anything in the cupboards, and I'm good to go. But nutrition needs to be taken twice a day. The science of chronobiology shows that your water-soluble vitamins that you need throughout the day need to be taken at breakfast, And your fat soluble vitamins should be taken in the evening hours because that's when your liver is doing the digesting for those while you're sleeping. So that is new to a lot of people. They think they can take it at any time. You're really just making expensive urine. Really expensive urine. I'm an expert at making it. I did it for 15 years.
That was the name of my first band, by the way. Yeah. We toured the Southeast.
I love it. Well, pillars for total health. You guys have it dialed in the exercise department with Joe. You're doing the workouts and getting the body moving. That's huge. It helps boost the metabolism, secretes dopamine in the brain, gives you all the feel goods, helps you get rid of stress. Joe could go on, I'm sure, and explain the more benefits of exercise. Nutrition, your energy comes from your macronutrients and your micronutrients. So chances are you're deficient somewhere in the micronutrients. Sleep is huge. Sleep regulates your hormones, your dopamine, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, all of that. If you're not getting a good 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and if you're programmed to need that, you're behind the game all day long. And I know if I don't get enough sleep, I'm hungry and I've got brain fog. And then stress. If you may be used to the stress at work or in your daily life, your body adapts to it easily, but you could be walking around with increased levels of cortisol, and that's going to trigger fat, mess with hormones, and can lead to inflammation, and all about watching that. So healthy weight loss, if fat mass loss is a goal, I do work with clients that want to gain muscle. I do work with clients that just want to feel better, sleep better, have better digestion. There's multiple pieces to it, and a lot of people are great at one or two, but not all. And the last one I want to focus on is your genetics. This is a new field of research in the last 7 years. They've come out with your fitness and nutrition genes, and that is so critical to the last piece of the puzzle. How do you know what's on your plate right now is able to be digested by your body? What is your risk for inflammation based on some foods? That's what this big gigantic report is here. It's 46 pages, but I learned about sensitivity to carbohydrates. Should I avoid them? No. 65% to 45% of my calories per day should come from carbs, but the type of carbs matter. The ingredients in the carbs that I'm choosing matters. Like cornstarch, I've got to avoid it at all costs. Anything that says the word instant oatmeal, instant rice, instant things that go in the microwave to cook, not good for my body. It digests it way too fast, and it can trigger hunger hormones or it can trigger inflammation. Fats, that's another thing that we test for. What's your sensitivity to fats? Are you eating good fats, but in the combination that can cause weight gain and inflammation? So I love peanut butter. I can eat that all day, every day. Just because there's also sugar in it. It's fantastic. Turns out that's a type of fat that will trigger inflammation in my body and weight gain. So I have to reduce it and only do 1 teaspoon of it a day. And I switched over to almonds. Almonds are a different type of fat and are processed differently. So our carbohydrate and fat test, that's just 2 components that we test for.
That was interesting for me. I didn't know I was sensitive to fat. And then I kind of noticed I get a little sleepy after I eat these. So I had to switch it up. Because I love peanut butter too. I eat the natural kind now. It's still, the natural kind still made me sleepy.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the really awakening testimonies they get from a lot of clients. They think they feel good, and then they get their DNA back and they get their personalized nutrition, and they're, oh, now I feel great.
Yeah.
So 4 days on that, my hot flashes in my neck stopped. In 1 month, I went down 16 inches of inflammation. Wow. 8 of it was on the waist. I got my DNA report back a month later. I knew how to shop in the grocery store, and I took it 1 little page at a time. It took me about 3 months to go through the carbs that were in my house and what I was used to buying, and I just started turning it over. And in the process, the inflammation was going down, the metabolism was getting faster, and I was obviously making healthy choices as well and exercising. But by March, so from June to March, I lost 60 pounds. And that was the beginning of the pandemic, and I kept it off.
That's
I kept it off because I knew what was gonna cause it to go the other way. I wasn't guessing. I also had my workouts dialed in, so I knew exactly what to do. This is another summary. These are all the different components that we test for: muscle performance, where's your fat stored, what's your risk for cholesterol, what's your tolerance for caffeine, lactose, alcohol. And then really important is we can take this part of the genetic information, how you process A, D, E, B6, folate, and 12. These are your 6 major vitamin categories. And if your body can't digest it, it's flushing it out, which means you're lacking and deficient. For me specifically, B6 is one that I don't absorb well from food. So my report tells me what additional foods to put in my diet. And I put the information into my personalized vitamins. I have an extra B complex vitamin. B helps me absorb iron. I didn't know that. I was always told I was anemic and I bruised. And I was told to take iron pills. Guess what I can't absorb? Iron. If I don't have the B6 to help the iron get absorbed, I'm making expensive urine again. So knowing your genetic tendency for absorption really helps. So my mental and physical energy is better. I was taking 2-hour naps a day. But now in the morning, I take my advanced AM and my B6. I'm good to go. And I feel like I went from 72 to 28. And Joe's seen me work out. I've
She's a
beaten
beast.
20-year-olds in workouts. I've gone to F45, Orange Theory, all of them. I've tried them all and I love them, but I'm a little beastly.
It's true.
Hence the torn muscle right now. But supplements play a role in a lot of different ways. One is to fill in the nutritional gaps, because I'm not going to have a perfect day eating today. I'm going to the Alabama game. I already know I'm doomed. So I'm trying to get all my calories in now. And then I'm going to take some of my favorite products. On the right, you see that rapid weight loss box. It's actually one of our bundles that we do. I take my purse, Lean and Slim Plus. We talked about this. This is bikini in a bottle. This is duct tape for your mouth. This one's going to shield my muscles. It's going to help with appetite control. It's going to speed up fat burning. This one is going to help with appetite control, mood, and energy. And the reason I call it duct tape for my mouth is I used to be a teacher and I didn't say things that were bad anymore or want to kill a child. And when I felt the urge coming out, I was like, oh, it's Slim o'clock. It's seriously, there's something in it that just makes you happy, and it's on the label. It says mood enhancing. But these are all gluten-free, soy-free, and non-GMO. This is our burn bundle. So this is what the additional tools that people need help with appetite and things like that. So that's part of my raffle. That's what's under the TV. Energy is a big deal for a lot of people. That's the other canister that Joe said may or may not make it back to his phone.
We'll see. See what happens.
Our energy it's encapsulated, so you get a dose when you first take it, like you would a cup of coffee, but then it slowly releases over 4 to 6 hours. So I used to be a 2-pot coffee drinker. I remember my physics buddy, we shared an office, and he loved Arabic coffee and all things coffee. And before I knew it, I'm addicted to needing this. I wasn't eating. I was just drinking coffee all day. And then at 3 o'clock, I started sumo wrestling. Yeah, that's when I started bodybuilding. I knew I needed to do that. B6. Vitamins are huge. They're going to fill in your nutritional gaps. I'm a huge fan of them. And now that I've been introduced to the assessment, I never want to go to a store and just ask somebody what should I take, because they don't know my medical history. They don't know what to give me. And the last time I went to a store, I had 7 bottles and I was out $400. And none of them were the same quantity. That drove me nuts. Now it's 30-day roll right there. I have it on subscription, set it and forget it, and I don't have to worry about it. Branched chain amino acids, that's what's in that Slim Plus that I was talking about. It's also in our protein shakes. You want to make sure you're getting those 5 servings of protein a day. Protein's made up of branched chain amino acids. So they're your little building blocks of your muscles. And as an aging woman, I'm a huge proponent of make sure you get that protein in. 1, for fat loss, 2, for satiety, and 3, our muscles are our freedom
Mhm.
as we age. I look at some of my aunts and uncles with the jazzies and the walkers and the, I planned a vacation with my mom. I said, let's go to England. Let's go see Downton Abbey, and then let's fly over to Scotland. Let's go tour all of the castles there. And her first response was, how many stairs are there going to be? So I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, that's not living life on your terms. And then sleep, there is a packet, it is a product we have, it's called Sleep. I love the sleep strips. They're a little dose of melatonin, L-theanine, and one other ingredient. I can read the label, I'll tell you. But it helps you fall asleep like a baby and wake up like a rock star. So even if I have 4 hours that I can jam in because I've got an early flight or I'm staying in a hotel, I still wake up feeling really refreshed. So it's almost like I'm getting a higher quality sleep because I'm going from deep REM to light and cycling through that 2 or 3 times. So I'm a huge fan of that. Over-the-counter sleep aids can be addictive. Too much melatonin. I talked to some people that take 10 milligrams. Like anything over 1.5 is addictive. And it tells you, and they're like, it's not addictive. It tells your brain to stop making melatonin. It knows it's going to get it. So it shuts that down. What our advanced PM vitamin does in the evening pack is it helps the brain produce its own melatonin. And then the other components of the sleep strip for me help me get those cycles in. So I took sleep data for a month straight, and I saw less disturbances and more deep sleep. And that was also the same time I was losing weight. So I needed that. So any of these things, they're not replacements for food, they're tools. They're tools in our toolbox. And now if we go back to that first slide where 85% of people say it's easier to do their taxes than figure out how to eat healthy, this is complicated. This is very complicated. It takes time to learn it. So Lot Farms with a professional. So if you need accountability, you've got Joe. He's amazing. If you'd like to have a consultation with me, you can text me. I'll give you guys some, you have the flyers in front of you. Yes. My cell phone number's on there. Joe and I are business partners, so this benefits Joe's business as well. So we work together as helping people. So I'm happy to talk with you at any time. And if you know of anybody else that could use our workout services or our nutrition services, I do this at the corporate level. I can do it for churches, I can do it for small groups or just your girlfriends, and we can sit around the table and just, maybe you want to have a healthy girls' night. We can sit together at the table and sort food, and they can learn about how to win their adventure boot camp, weight loss training. And thank you.